Hello, I'm Nicole and welcome to my channel. In a previous video, we chatted about creating swatches from your cardstock and how you can create beautiful color combinations once you know the colors you have and you have a color wheel. In this video, we'll talk about swatching our dye inks and how once you've got these in place along with your cardstock swatches, you can start to see how beautiful projects come together. My requirements for creating ink swatches is that they must be large enough space for me to really get an idea of what the fully developed color looks like, and that they should be easy to create, not take a lot of time, and match up well with the cardstock swatches that I'd already created. So this is how I arrived at these beautiful ink swatches. As you can see, my ink swatches are the same exact size and shape as my cardstock swatches. This is a size and shape that I'm going to try and maintain through all of my swatching. They have a full panel of fully saturated color from the ink pad, and then a simple label with the color name, the company, and what kind of ink it is. Doing swatches in this way means that I'll be able to create them very quickly, which is good because I have hundreds of inks to swatch. So let me show you how easily these swatches come together. I use these Sizzix sticky grid sheets cut down into a smaller size so that way I have something for my swatch to stick to. Remember, these are 3.5 by 2.5, and I just add a nice little detail to them using my We Are Memory Keepers envelope punch. So I put down my piece of sticky sheet, and then I can place my swatch down right on my mat here. I am using my grid here to keep everything nice and square and make sure that as I create my swatches, they all look the same. So I will come down 1/2 inch, which is 2 blocks here, and just take some washi and go across the top. This is going to create that white space across the top. I don't know that it's necessary, but I like the way that it looks. So I'll take my next ink. This is Sea Glass by Concord and 9th. And as you can see, this is a firm foam pad, and it's the large pad. So with these, especially because they are brand new to me and they are nice and juicy, I'm just going to swipe this across my piece of cardstock. And that's all there is to it. I can lift up my washi tape, and then I've got my card ready to go. If I have ink pads that are the linen style ink pads, I'll do exactly the same thing. I've got my blank set up here, and I'll add a piece of washi tape to mark up that top section. For the large ink pads, I'll go ahead and swipe across. And if I don't get a good swipe, I just need to go back and forth and rub the color in. I am going for a saturated look. I don't want the color to run through the back side of the cardstock, but I do want to get a full idea of what the color looks like. So it's okay to rub that on there and get that fully saturated look. If you're working with ink cubes, you're going to do the same thing. You're not going to be able to swipe across and get the whole thing colored in, so you will have to rub it back and forth until you get full saturation. If your ink pad is a little on the older side and it's not freshly re-inked, you may have to scrub just a little bit to get this fully colored. But as you can see, it doesn't take much time. And you have yet another ink swatch completed. I have 8 more inks in my Concord and 9th collection to swatch, so let's time it and see how long it takes. As you can see, that took no time at all to add all the color to these swatches. So my final step here is to add a printed label to each of the color swatches. And that fits right up here in the white area. And it has the name of the ink, the brand, and the type of ink. Return address labels are the perfect size for this kind of information. They're large enough that you can read them, but small enough that you can fit a whole bunch on a single page of labels. If you're working on purchasing an entire collection of inks, it's worthwhile to create the labels for them ahead of time, knowing that you're going to do this process for all of your inks sooner or later. That way you have the labels completed in one go, and as you add to your collection, it's easier to swatch and add the labels. You don't have to go through the extra effort of creating labels each time. Once you have all of your swatches complete, now you'll go through and determine where they fall in the color wheel and then separate them out using some color family dividers. I've used some leftover heavy plastic that I had in my collection. You can always just use heavy cardstock. Either works. And again, just create some labels with the same return address label size for all of the color families. As you know, I have the perfect little container to keep these in. They're all just the right width to fit into this space. And it has plenty of room to grow, whether I'm using just the 8-inch size or I decide to go for the 12-inch size. Now that I have all of my inks categorized, I can pair these with my cardstock swatches to create pleasing color combinations. For example, if I wanted to do a color combo in blue-green and red-orange to create something complementary, I might go for a blue-green cardstock. Let's say I'll go for Paradise. But I'd like an orange color in some of my inking, so I'm going to look for a red-orange, which maybe I would use Poppy, Sorbet, or Grapefruit to create a complementary stamped image. In another example, let's look at a split complementary with blue, yellow-orange, and red-orange. I might want to pull out a yellow-orange cardstock, so let's say I wanted to start with number 2 pencil. And then I'm looking for something that has red-orange and some blue. So my choices for blue with the inks that I have right now are Midnight. And then if I look at red-orange, I know I have a few options. So I can add in something bold like Poppy, or I could go for something a little more understated like Grapefruit. Now that you're seeing this in action, having these large color swatches of not only my inks but my cardstock really makes it easy to color match potential project choices. Now it's your turn to go and create some easy ink color swatches. As you're inspired to do this process, I would love to see your results, so share out on social media and tag me at Pixel Mavens Retreat. I hope you enjoyed this look into organization and color inspiration. I'll be back soon with more tips, tricks, and how-tos. But until next time, happy crafting. Help support my craft education efforts by giving this video a thumbs up and clicking on the subscribe button and bell so you'll get notified when I create new content just for you. If you're looking for some more crafty inspiration, how about one of these videos?